Welcome to Display Express. In this series, we're going to go through all the features of Display Express and how the system can be operated, how presets are created, how the system is set up, and all the special features of Display Express. As you can see, this is a software application that runs in a browser. You can access it with Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, Opera. I can access it from a PC. I can access it from an iPad, an Android tablet, a smartphone, anything that has web access and can display a web page. This software is part of a family of products. When I send control commands from this software, they will travel via RS-232 or IP to what we call a head end. It's a control modulator that takes the commands, translates that to a tiny control channel that fits in between channels 4 and 5. That travels to all the displays within the system, and I can control power, volume, channel, variety of other features. We have controllers that are dedicated to TVs that have built-in tuners, and we also have controllers that can hook to a video projector and be a tuner and a controller for that projector or a large screen monitor. Built into this system is it's primarily designed for control of displays over RF, and you don't need any extra wiring or technology to make that happen. You can also send commands via Ethernet. We have many sites that have connected projectors for various applications, and they want to make sure they're off as part of the schedule too, so we can send Ethernet commands to those projectors and turn them on and off and extend power management to those resources as well. The software is quite simple. As I said, it's web-based, and you can use anything you want. It'll be housed in a Windows PC. It'll be serving those web pages across the network, and so people can log into the software with management level authority. They can come in as a person who can just do control panels, and they can be a person who can just do scheduling but can't change any system features. The advantage to the software, there's no special programming you have to do. Anything you need to do, adding new displays, adding new features, doing new commands, doing new presets, creating schedules, requires no programming knowledge at all. Everything that we're doing is done within forms that you fill in with the software and presets that can be expressed as control buttons or be scheduled as part of a total system solution. So the features we have, we look at the top menu, is that we can see the master schedule that's running now, and that can be enabled or disabled. I can look at help information, and I can log out of the software. Presets are available immediately as control panels, so I can select buttons to turn off all the TVs, turn on all the TVs, mute the TVs, send a lock command to the TVs, and change it to particular channels. And all those presets were defined by the customer. TV panels are a specialized version where I can select a particular TV or a group of TVs or all the TVs, and I can select a channel and send all those to that particular channel. Or I can change the volume to the sets or mute them or turn them on and off. So this is a manual control panel. The variation in this has come up where we have a lot of sports bars using this because all they need as a control panel on a sports bar is an iPad. So that's becoming very popular. We also have sites where they have floor managers in a larger corporate facilities, and they want the ability to interrupt the daily schedule. They know there's a news broadcast coming on. They can pick one TV or group of TVs, force that onto the broadcast so people can see it, and then go back to the normal schedule after that broadcast is done. And all that's done within the software. And these features have been added to it over years at no charge to the customers. Once you have the software, you can go to our site and download the new features anytime you want. The other aspect of presets is They're created with very simple tools, and you'll see this when I get to the editing sections. I can create something new, I can edit something existing, or I could copy something existing, make a few changes, and save it by a new name. So in this command, let's see, everybody off, I selected that all TVs will respond, and I said use a command, and I told it to turn the power off. I could have told it put it on, put it off, and then I save that. And here I did it as a copy, so I'm going to go that, add this TV channel, and I'll say new preset, and then save it. So I started with something existing and I added something new. We also have system presets that you can do to schedule backups of the system files that you have, and then we also have presets that can go to a specific IP address and send a command to a device and bring in a projector with an Extron controller or directly control a projector or any other device that needs IP control. So that could be added as a button, or that could be scheduled as part of your system. Anything that's set up as a preset can be scheduled. So in this case, you can see that we're going to turn the TVs on at 9. We started this back in 2010. It's going to cycle Monday through Friday. All the TVs are going to turn on, and you can see it right by the schedule. So as you go through the schedule, you can just quickly check it and see what's the name of the preset, when it's going to happen, what's the repeat cycle, what TVs are going to be affected, and what is the command we're sending. So that's echoed right back to you. And then a user could go through and send it to an alternative schedule, and now there's an entirely different schedule that goes into place. This is used by corporations to run a different schedule during holidays. Large sports facilities will do this they'll make a schedule for each event. So the entire football game, the entire basketball game, and all the channels they go to and everything they're supposed to do is saved as a schedule. When that game comes up, they run that schedule for that day. The next game, they run a different schedule. So they can program ahead of time and edit the schedules for the games that they want. And again, they could disable that schedule anytime. They can see all the events that might happen in the future or just the events that happen today. That's all part of the schedule software. Alerts are a variation on a preset. The difference here is that when I click it, all the assigned TVs will go to a specific channel and they'll turn on. So you might have an emergency broadcast that's a weather alert, and you're going to send those to the weather channel, or you've got a broadcast that comes in through an emergency system. And at that time, you can command all the projectors, all the TVs in the system to go and display that channel, and you can set how loud that is going to be broadcast as well. The simplicity of the system goes again, because when I turn it off, the controllers themselves remembered what channel the TV was at and whether it was on or off. So that all the TV goes back to everything that they were at before. If they were on, they stay on. If they were off, they go off. And they go back to the channel that they were set to, and everything continues after the alert. Now, presets and alert are features you set up that we say play well with others. You could run everything off of Display Express. However, we have some other sites that tie in AMX or Crestron or other PC-driven control systems to work interactively with Display Express. So, for example, an emergency center could program Display Express and give names to the different kinds of alerts they want to have happen, but they could have a master AMX or Crestron system send that command to my software and I'll do it. So they don't have to go over to our software and press a button. That can be automated as part of the entire system. In the same way, you could do presets, and an AMX system could launch presets and groups and everything that I've defined in here, and it simplifies the programmer's job because he doesn't have to know exactly which TVs are involved. That can be changed and adapted within Display Express. That saves a lot of programming time. The setup will be the first things that we'll get into in the next session. Essentially, you can see what the name of the computer is. Are you going to talk 232 or IP? to the system, the master system controller. Who are the people who can access the system and what rights do they have? How do I define control panels, TV control panels? And then you'll be setting up channels, groups, and specific addresses and names for all the TVs in the system. And you can even go to what we call zones and change the name from zone 2 to the left side displays or skyboxes, anything else you want to call it. And the zone is a group of TVs, in this case the address from 513 to 767, and when I send it to that zone, all the TVs with those addresses will act as if they're one TV. So it simplifies things for programming and creating presets if all the TVs fall into that device group. In addition, a person could log off as a master, and I'll say panel. This is a name I set up in the system, and go there. And now you can see that a person only has access to control panels you've designed. This is one I use for testing my tech support system. It could be a manual control panel that I could select different displays, say in a sports bar. And it could be a tablet, like an iPad control, where they can have basic control functionality over the system. And you can assign this to various people. You can give them as many control panels as you want, control what TVs they can control, what they can do, what panels they can access, and all that's defined within the system. And you didn't have to do any extra programming to do it. It's built into Display Express. So that's an overview of how the system works. In the next session, we'll be going and looking at how do you set up a system in Display Express and begin that initial process of getting the system going. Thank you.